Okay. Hello. Wait, what happened to the video? No! Hey. Yeah. 嫌だ。ちょっと待って。なにこれ。ちょっと。What happened to my video? Wait. なんで Can you guys hear the video? Or is it just me? へえ。なんで What happened to the VGM? Hold on. いや、待って。なんではい。ここ待って。いや、いや。え why did it, え Wait, I didn't want this to wait for longer. Hold on. Can you guys hear the BGM? I don't know. なんで why is it the BGM working? Fine. You don't get the BGM. Anyways, hello. Hello. もう is anything working? What is going on? I'm sorry to start stream this way. Anyways, hi. Do you notice anything different? Do you guys notice anything different on stream right now? Okay, so yeah, I have a PNG tuber, I guess. Let's see. Let's just use. Okay, yeah, you know what? No, not that. Hi, Coco. We'll just use. No! There. Finally! Finally a BGM! Hello! Finally, after 10 minutes. More than 10 minutes. It's already been 24 minutes since the initial. Let me turn this down real quick. Okay, so hi everyone! Hi! It's been a while. 2 weeks since our last stream. Today, welcome to my our very first, I guess, series. This is the very first start of the very first series that I'm starting to work on, which is relearning how to draw together, of course. And I am Clue, Head Clueless, from Head Clueless, Clue. Okay, so this is probably confusing to a lot of people. Anyways, yeah. So, and welcome to the series, the debut series of relearning how to draw, featuring me, Clueless, Head Clueless. So in this stream, these kind of streams, we're basically gonna watch a lot of like tutorials together, and we're going to start drawing those tutorials, trying to implement that to our style, and we try to kind of, make it our own style. So yeah, basically, this is just a big learn together, learn with me, So the premise is that we'll start off with watching some tutorials, or maybe we can start off with like a trial. So like today's today's episode is us drawing heads, right? So let's try drawing a head in our style. God, I haven't used Clip Studio Paint in so long. You know why? I've been using my tablet a lot. Wait. No, that's not my brush. Here's my brush. This is my brush. Okay. Okay. Yeah, good. Alright. Let's start off by drawing how we would draw heads. So let's start it off. So what I usually do when I draw heads is that I would make the oh so famous circle, and I'll draw a line that will be where the face is showing. And what I'm currently doing right now with my style is that I'm drawing like this box. It's just a frame where the head would be. Like that. Because this is kind of a new thing that I learned recently, but like you can make heads with a square. So that's what I've been trying to practice lately. Like this, and around here is where the ear is, you know? This is what I've been trying to work on. But definitely it's not polished yet. I'm gonna do this. Okay. So that's my initial head. This is my try. So yeah, in this series we're basically learning together, right? I haven't used Clip Studio in so long because I've been using my tablet to draw a lot. By tablet, I mean like my Samsung tablet. Not sponsored, but like, yeah. Oops. Oh, I need to get used to it. Because I used Photoshop before this while I was making the thumbnail. So, I got used to the Photoshop shortcuts before getting used to this. This is also not my usual like pen size. Usually I would go for like 5. Oh yeah, that's big. But I've been kind of leaning towards thinner lines lately, because currently my art style is a bit more semi-realistic. So yeah, I don't actually know who I'm drawing right now. I'll just draw like someone, I guess. So yeah, this is how I would draw a head. Try to be more loose about it too, because like I noticed that a lot of my art style, it's very how do you call it? What do you call it? It feels very strict. That's how I feel about it. It feels very strict. It doesn't feel very flowy, which a lot of pros would tell you to do. Like, hey, be flowy with your art. A very long face, anyways. Yeah. Now, you see, you'd think like, oh, this is a pretty good face, you know? Why are we even trying to relearn it again, you know? But, you know, art and probably a lot of things, it's a learning progress. It's never really like a fully finished thing. Let's give her a little scrunchie. You know? Aw, look at her, she's cute. Okay, so this is our first try. This is our first head of the day. You'd probably think like when you see this, maybe is that, oh, you're already pretty good at drawing heads. Why are you trying to like really learn it? Like, aren't you just like wasting your time? Like, no, of course not. Why would I be wasting my time? This is practice, you know? Like, with every art style, with every artist, there's always room for improvement, and I think I want to improve the heads more. You see? Especially my side profiles, because I suck at it, you know? You know how like there's like a meme. It's from way back then. This is way too, you know what? This is too, now here we go. Okay, this is better. This is way too thin. But anyways, yeah. I hope my audio is okay. My moderator's not here. My moderator is in class right now. Can you believe it? My moderator thinks that, oh, taking classes is even more important than moderating Rama's YouTube. I can't believe it. Anyways, back to what I was saying. You know how it's a bit of an old meme, but like artists would usually just draw like the same face over and over again. Yeah. That's with me. Always front facing or like side facing. Whoops. Whoops. Okay. Yeah. Practically like that, you know? And I don't want to waste too much time either because I already kind of missed the start of the stream. So when I start with face profile, it's usually like this. It's very anime-esque, right? Audio good. Thank you, Sozo. Welcome. So if I'm doing like side profile, it's usually like this, right? It's very anime-esque. And usually my eyes is also very anime-esque. And I've actually really been wanting to practice these kind of profiles because like, yeah, you know what? We need to explore out of our comfort zone. We can't just say, oh, it's my art style. We can't just say that. We have to dig deeper, you know. If I accidentally draw someone like IRL, that'd be really cute actually. I saw those like TikToks where people would like say like, oh, tag me if I accidentally drew you, and it's a picture of like random doodles of like random people, but like we don't actually know who they are. We just kind of drew them. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna erase the guidelines. I erased a little bit on there, but like, yeah, very straightforward. Yeah. Also, this is more of a, like I'm learning to do side profile, so yeah. True. Okay. I'm getting lazy. For some reason, it's like people would like to love drawing 3/4 profiles a lot, but it's actually kind of hard. Probably because I'm not used to that art style yet in my art style, or that side profile yet in my art style. But yeah, usually I would do this without the box, just feel kind of fluent with it, you know. Just me drawing as fast as I could. So I've actually also kind of gathered some people that I want to watch tutorials from. We're going to watch tutorials from. Include Cynics. Actually, the inspiration for this stream is actually from a TikTok I saw a few days back, where it's a person who's basically they said like, oh, I learned more anatomy from a Cynics video in like 4 to 8 minutes than actually like learning for like a year. And it's like, holy shit, that's really cool. And you know what? That's the power of like free education, you know? Free quality education, but yeah. So that's how I usually draw ahead. Sometimes I would like, oh, this feels like a little too narrow or too tall. I would just do this. Yeah, just like widen it a little. But yeah, it doesn't like, there's the theory to it, but there's no actual structure to it. That's what I noticed from my art style. It's there, and you know what? It's pretty good, but like it could be better. So, next we are going to start watching some tutorials. Um, let's see. Let's start off with a video from, you know, yeah, let's just start out with Cynic's design. There you are, buddy. Because like he's probably like the pillar for like YouTube art tutorials. Let's try looking at playlist. Maybe there's some anatomy quick tips. Yeah, he makes like quick tips and all, like knees, feet. Oh, these are perfect. I know I said head, but if we have time, we can probably learn about like eyes and stuff like that too. So let's see. He's also more painterly kind of digital artist. So yeah, we should try together sometime on the shared campus type program. Yeah, oh, that would be so fun. Ooh, yeah, we can do that. Okay, there's one about skulls. Wait, oops. Okay. Oh, hold on. Okay. Okay. Is this good? Oh, maybe that's not. Oops. Wait, let me position this real quick. No. Okay. Yeah, okay, that's good enough. Anyways. Can you guys see this? Okay, I think you guys can.
On our skull knowledge. Right away, you might be thinking, why skulls? Isn't anatomy quick tips just meant to make you better at drawing figures and characters from imagination? And yes, it certainly is, but when I was starting out in art, the single thing that helped me improve my face drawings the most was memorizing the basic structure of a skull. Once you can solidify this into your visual library, drawing faces will feel much more reliable. If nothing else, you'll also get good at making some extra spooky props for your drawings. Alright, well, without any further ado, let's start noodling some noddles. Starting off with structure, I shall do my best to whip up a quick front view of a generic skull. As always, I tend to prefer drawing on the more angular side of things. Angles tend to be better than curves at conveying clear information, so I recommend starting off with more boxy shapes for things like the eye sockets, and even the whole skull itself if you want. You can move toward more subtle and graceful curves and round shapes once you feel more confident. I think this skull should do fine, at least enough to help us go over all the terminology we'll be using in this video. So the main skeletal house where we all spend our lives is of course the cranium, the old brain holder. And we don't need to get into too many minor distinctions with that. I will of course just be focusing on the terms and ideas that I think will be most useful in the long run when you have to draw fleshed out faces. One major part you do need to know is the zygomatic, aka the cheekbones. This is a boxy strip of bone that defines the eye sockets along the bottom, where it wraps around.
Oh my god, Sans! He drew Sans! No, kidding.
The
Sorry.
lower jaw. It also wraps up alongside the outer sides of the eye socket in a thin strip that really helps define the front and side of the head. even going up high enough to define the edge of the forehead. Speaking of the forehead, I will sometimes be mentioning the brow ridge, which is the angular outcropping of the skull just above the eye sockets. Usually this is more of a masculine trait. But to go back to the zygomatic bone, it really helps break the face away from the more temporal sides of the cranium. And it's not 100% medically accurate, but you might sometimes hear me call that separation the temporal ridge. You can also just think of the more casual term temples. Anyway, the nasal cavity is of course the triangular opening where your nose would be. There is a bit of bone separating the two sides, but usually I find it best to just represent the nasal cavity as a unified triangle. The maxilla is the proper name for the upper jaw, so I will rarely use it. And for the mandible at the bottom, I will definitely just be calling this the lower jaw, or even jawbone. Alright, as I've been rambling through these descriptions, I've had time to even do a side drawing as well. Really take note of how the cheekbone becomes the cornerstone of everything, helping you understand the front of the skull, the temporal area, the lower jaw insertion, the upper jaw placement, the eye sockets, and even the nasal cavity placement. Because when it comes to that nasal cavity as a rule of placement, I like to line up the bottom of the nasal cavity with the bottom of the cheekbones. And to complete that line of information, the top of the nasal cavity is generally around the halfway point of the eye socket. That's how I like to remember it anyway. Let's see, what else? Well, I did mention that you should probably approach things with angles and boxes, but I'll strictly point out that the cranium tends to work best when you approach it as a box that is more square from the front and longer from the side. There are really a lot of simple angles that you might find useful to memorize. The nasal cavity has a sloping inward angle before angling back out at the bottom, which leads into the upper jaw going very briefly inward before jumping quite far outward, and then ending with the lower jaw that tends to go very evenly inward and then outward. Try to exercise some restraint with these angles though, because the overall feel of the front of the skull should still be a simple vertical line. I do have a couple last quick terminology notes about the lower jaw. If you hear me refer to the chin, that's generally the bottom outward turn on the front of the lower jaw. And sometimes you might hear me say jaw when I'm really just referring to the back lower corners of the lower jaw. Usually this is in the context of talking about a strong or square jaw, which gives that area a near 90-degree turn in form. Or maybe a weak jaw, which is when the lower jaw has a much shallower angle in that area. A weak chin is a pretty obvious similar concept, and both of these can best be hidden by some half-hearted facial hair. Hooray for that. Now, I've bombarded you with a huge dump of information, so I'm sorry for that, but I'm not done yet. I want to take a special moment to share one visual reminder that helped me get better at drawing the maxilla, aka that upper jaw. Let's just doodle up another quick skull
That's
here.
so fast.
I find them much more relaxing to draw in the 3/4.
I know it's like fast
anyway,
forwarded, but
every time
like
I come to that upper jaw of the skull, I always just approach it as if I was drawing an old-timey cow catcher. I'm not sure if you know what a cow catcher is, so
no, I don't.
if you don't, it's a metal wedge that goes on the front bottom of a train, especially old trains. Trains
a train?
are not
I thought it was
very
a
good
cow.
at slowing down, so if some debris gets on the tracks,
Oh,
or
no, I get it.
a cow wanders out there, it was important for it to be deflected off the tracks so as not to go under the wheels and potentially derail the train. Hence the invention of the cow catcher. Don't worry, no animals were harmed in this drawing. Aside from that, I would also like to shine an extra spotlight on the lower jaw. Remember all of that talk about weak chins and weak jaws? Well, some of that information can be hard to get across in those first two frontal and side views, so here's a bit more. You can see how a strong jaw can actually be prominent and even bend outward a bit in those back corners. Meanwhile, the chin, which I'm showing in blue, should be shown to have at least some amount of form, no matter how weak it may be. I think that about does it for structure. Hopefully the essentials are all there. Let's talk about movement for a moment. Of course, there is only one major moving part of the skull, and that is the lower jaw. Everything above that can be thought of as its own solid form, but that lower jaw should be treated fairly independently. I've seen a lot of people draw open mouths over the years, and the biggest mistake that happens usually occurs in how people think about the jaw moving. It doesn't snap up and down like a nutcracker, it hinges behind the cheekbone and rotates off of that. That might sound obvious enough, but the thing that people often forget is how this affects the shape of the face, and also our perspective on the bottom teeth. A wide open mouth should be giving you a top-down view of the lower teeth and jaw. And by the way, as I wrote here, the lower jaw is also a great form to practice drawing from random directions in 3D space.
It's
It's
so
complex
cool.
enough to be a healthy exercise and simple enough to not become overwhelming, so I recommend trying it out. Now then, anytime you do have to draw an open mouth, make
That's
sure the
so
whole
cool.
bottom of the face is changing into a much more triangular shape to best reflect that top-down view of the jaw. Yes, I know I mentioned this briefly in the mouth video, but it's just much easier to visualize with the skull. Alright, I think it's time for some common mistakes. By far, the most common mistake is simply making everything far too circular. You wind up losing so many chances to hint at the actual forms. The second most common issue is probably not having the upper jaw or really just any of the mouth area protruding forward. And another mistake that luckily doesn't affect the look of faces too much, but still important, is just not including the temporal division that comes up from that cheekbone. A lot of these issues might not even affect your normal character drawing too much, but there is one mistake that certainly will, and that is simply making the bottom jaw way too small and awkward.
Uh,
Classic anime jaw syndrome. We've all been there. Well, at least I've certainly been there. It was a
um,
dark time in my early
but
attempts at realism.
yeah,
Okay, let's move on to reductions, or stylizations, or in some ways the antithesis of common mistakes. If
yeah.
you watched my video about post-realism, you might know that one of the best ways to determine how much stylization you can get away with is to first acknowledge those common mistakes. You can either take those in the opposite direction, or perhaps just focus more on playing with the features that aren't already locked into the common iconography that tends to give birth to all of these mistakes. You can get very wild with your skulls and still maintain a sense of implied competence if you know the right strings to tug at. And once again,
That's
knowing the
so
right strings to
cool.
pull is at the heart of moving past the realism stage and
God,
into
that's
the
so cool.
post-realistic stage. This stylization time is also a great opportunity to work on your sense of flow, which should probably be a future design theory video. I got so many fun videos to do. But before we move on,
God
I
bless you,
have one
Cynics.
last side topic to mention. There are certain parts of the skull, mainly the sides and the bottom, that won't really offer you any strong benefit from learning, especially if you just plan on using this knowledge to improve your character faces. So how can we maximize our beneficial outcomes of drawing skulls? Well, simply slap some ears and a neck on each of them. That's right, skulls with necks and ears are extremely efficient at giving you tons of added value that will lead to much better character drawing skills in the long run. Plus, it's just kind of fun and they look cool. I love them with their little silly ears and expressive necks. Anyway, I think the lecture time is finally over, so let's just go wild for a bit and see what we've pieced together from all of this knowledge. I'll be drawing a bunch of skulls from different angles, and I'm going to start off by loosely following a reference for the first one. I'm definitely changing.
He's gonna follow with what we're trying to do. But yeah, uh, let's see what he does first, and then after that, we'll try to do it on our own. How
A
about
few
that?
things to make it a little more fun, but I would say this first drawing is about 80% reference based. Now for all of the following ones, I'll just be diving into pure imagination. Hopefully they will come across looking good enough that people will still think they look real as well. This is generally a good way to do things, internalizing enough form information to make things look great even without reference. The argument will inevitably come up, why not just always use reference? But I find that the only way to really get great results is to have a higher awareness of the forms, something that comes with at least trying to draw from imagination. If you can build
True.
that knowledge, then even when you do choose to use reference, you'll find that you can make much better looking art. One more note
Yeah.
about.
Okay. I wanna speak in for a bit about this. Yeah, I definitely agree with that because like I've been drawing for a long time now. But like even then I still always try to like improve. And like what I noticed through all these years that I've drawn even if I do have a reference on, if you don't understand the general structure of a person's face, it's hard to draw. Like, if you don't know where to pinpoint which part is which from someone's face, like which like shape pinpoints the person's face, it's gonna be hard to draw. And like, I even especially lately, because I'm also trying to relearn how to draw, hence why I'm making the series. But even now, I've noticed that whenever I try to draw someone from real life and use that picture, a picture of them for reference, it's always like there's something slightly off, and I don't know what it is. And usually, it's probably because the structure is not right. You're drawing what you see, which is a lot of artists actually do, drawing what you see. And not saying that it's not great, but how much better it could be if you actually understand the form of someone's head, like the skull. You have to really penetrate how deep you can understand someone's like visuals, you know. Yeah, anyways.
The drawings, I really like to establish my skulls through the eye sockets and nasal cavity. Those spots just help determine everything, and it's really important to feel the perspective in them. So when drawing a skull or face from the side, you really need to feel that the eye sockets are facing forward and not opening up toward the viewer. Aim for a strong sense of implied direction with these forms, and you'll find that even skulls can start to sell a lot of personality and identity. Alright, I think this is a pretty diverse mix. We have different jaw positions, all sorts of weird angles. It seems pretty good. Let's dive into the painting process, because we're going to have a lot of fun with it. Normally for anatomy quick tips, I like to keep my background as a mid-tone, but I think skulls might require a little bit of added drama, so I'm going to push it much darker. Next, I'm going to mask them all out on a new layer. This is easily the most boring and tedious part of the whole process, but at least it's relatively quick and leads to much better results. The main benefit of blocking them each out and locking the transparency is that I get to start each painting from there in a much more dynamic way. It would be so easy to approach all of these bones in a very monochromatic way, but acknowledging that also makes me much more willing to experiment with hue variation on each one.
Actually,
so
while we're here, I don't. This is talking about more of my series, but I think when we do these, I don't think we should dive into colors yet, because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm very shit at it. I'm so bad at coloring. Like, my color theory is shit. So I think it would be much better if we delve into that in a different episode or a different time. So now we're just gonna focus on the forms and the line art, I guess. But yeah.
with mostly an airbrush, I'm quickly going to add a bit of gradation to each of these. Once again, I am looking
holy fucking
the
shit.
amount of detail.
Holy fucking shit. He went, what, bro? He went from this to this. Dude, from afar that actually looks really realistic. He painted all these. Holy shit, are you seeing that? Good god. Anyways, yeah. Alright, I think we're gonna stop right there. We're gonna try to apply this on our own. Let's search up I'm like I'm like doxing myself. Oh, there I am. Whatever. Okay. Here's my Pinterest. Here's what I've been looking at. It's fine. No one's gonna watch this anyways. Who knows? Anyways, skull. Let's search up the reference. Skull reference. Okay. These are some. I'm gonna steal some of these. I think this is really good. Let's put that in our reference. I think I also want to add like shadows in. These have really good shadows. I think I've drawn this before. This one, I've used this as a reference before because I have actually drawn like a skull before. for a drawing, but it's a very long time ago, so I'm gonna put this back into our reference bin. And ooh, this one's good. It doesn't have any teeth though. Same, bro. You know what? Added diversity. Put that in the bin. You guys could also search up your own kind of skulls if you want. Ooh, this is really good. Alright, is 4 enough? You know, let's go for 5. Let's go for 5 skulls. How about that? Side profile, we don't have that yet. Did we have a... Hold on, let me check. Well, that I'm going to put back to my drawing. There we go. Hold on. Adjust this real quick. That's much better to adjust. There we go. Yeah, that's good. Did we have a... Oops, no. Again, I got used to Photoshop. Anyways. We got these. No front facing. Wow, okay. 6 then. But then again, there's like, of course, there's like a bunch of skull references. It's not just the generic white man skull, you know? Okay, we got all these. I'm gonna resize them real quick. Put them over here. Okay, so what did we learn? We learned that... Yeah, that's right. Now, which one is this one? This one? Okay. I'm gonna use you. We learned that let's use this color, I guess. Yeah, that's good. The cranium. I'm not gonna remember the biological termination, so I'm just gonna go with what I know. That is the head, the forehead, the head that's before. Nah, fuck it. Forehead. And cynics also said that there's like a protrusion usually in here for the chin. But of course, I don't think that's for everything. And I think it's also a really good kind of way to kind of God, my brain is farting. Maybe I should have gotten hot chocolate or something. Basically the chin. The chin would be protruding, but of course it's not for all kind of chins. Especially this chin that's very rounded. But we learn. Let's try seeing other. Yeah. Here's the chin. Chin right here. Chin. Big protrusion. Big protrusion here. Yeah. Okay, it is there. It's just not always visible. Chin. What else did we put down? These cheeks. The jaw. He also said that you can like masquerade it, the cheeks, no, not cheek, the jaw and the chin with like facial hair, but you can also masquerade it with the fat of the body. Like, you know how like double chins and stuff like that, right? that happens. Cheekbone. The nasal is halfway from the eye socket. And it goes all the way down to the bottom of the, almost the bottom of the cheekbone. Let's look at other references. Here we go. This is a good one. Goes halfway. Oops. Goes halfway. Yeah, almost. There's a bit of a gap between the cheekbone, but yeah. Not very good at like listening to people. I should probably do that, but yeah. Okay. These are the back parts, and okay. All right. Cool. I feel like a biology student all over again. Nice grin. Nice teethy grin. Teeth is actually really fun to draw. Like, you're so wonky. Anyways, yeah. Then oh, it's horrible. Anyways, let's try drawing. Let's try drawing some skulls. So what we learned, right, is that Cynic said not to draw curves. So let's do that. Nope, too big. Yeah, it's much easier to draw from the eyes first, actually. The eye sockets. Cheekbone. It would be kind of embarrassing if I messed this up, to be honest. But no, this is a learning class. This is a class. You know? Yeah, okay. It's kind of almost three-fourths, but it's not. I think this could be a little bit more higher up. Oh, recently I'm watching BoJack Horseman. It's been in my watch list for so long, but it's like 6 seasons, and I feel like I'm not ready for that commitment. But I'm starting to watch it now. thing to note, the teeth isn't... There's a gap here. You see? Right here. So the teeth isn't actually like inside the skull. It's a part of the skull. So I did this wrong. So the skull would be like this, and the teeth would be kind of dangling up on it, you know? So there would be a gap here. And then teeth. Like that. Okay, cool. And then just make like this. This would be quick. Not accurate, but it's there. And then that, that. Okay, how do we do? Bad. Not the best. I think we could size it up like this a little bit. Yeah, okay. If I were to do this like more fluently, like this is me trying to follow a reference, right? Which isn't bad, but I feel like could be better. What are we noticing here? What are we noticing here? This is too big. Okay. Cool. I guess. Let's try another one. If I were to do this fluently, right? Knowing that the forehead is like that, probably make it like this. Yeah, whatever. It tastes like that. Alright. Where does this go? It goes there. Okay. Okay. How'd that go? Horrible. Again. Yeah. Alright. Let's actually do more references, okay? I'm gonna hide this layer real quick. Let's call this first try. There you go. More room for these dudes. Let's do the laughing skeleton a little later. Let's do this one. So in this one, you kind of see the nose, the nasal bone a little more because it's protruded. It's not me trying to trace, it's me trying to figure out the placement of things, which, you know, like, people seem to kind of think that tracing and referencing and tracing for study is like all the same thing. It's all the same bad thing, but it's not true, you know? This one has more of a pear shape. How are you going to practice if you don't like practice it from like real life, you know? I mean, like, how? Tell me how. How are you going to practice on something when you don't understand? Tracing makes things easier to understand because you're drawing over it and you're trying to understand, like, oh yeah, the nose looks like a pear shape in this view, or oh yeah, there's like a gap here for the teeth or the jaw, and oh yeah, the jaw looks like a Y, you know? How are you going to know that if you don't actually do it? Like, yeah, you can like observe it, like, oh yeah, this looks okay, I guess. Like, oh yeah, this is where the eyes are supposed to be and stuff like that, right? But then you try drawing it, right? Let me move this. You try drawing it, right? Like, what I noticed from Cynic's tutorials also, he's very loose with it. Like, I know he's a pro artist, right? Like, he's very loose with like his drawings. Like, he tries to tell us that the process, but at the same time, his loose drawings, it kind of like, oh yeah, I can do that, you know? The type of like, oh, I can do that, and then you do it, and you can't. Okay, let's try not to reference from what I just traced. I might need to rewatch the video. I'm the type of person where I have to like rewatch something a couple of times before I can get it. Oh, you're a little close, buddy. Hey now. Social distancing. Have you guys ever gotten like an x-ray before and like notice, hey, there's like a crack there, but like you do nothing about it? I've got my teeth x-rayed for like my braces treatment and all, and like, wait, it wasn't for my braces, it was like my skull. I think I got my skull x-rayed one time to figure out my nasal problem, I think. It was a very long time ago. It was when I was a kid. Back then, I was like really easy to get sick. I used to get sick really easily. And we'd go to the doctor every Thursday or something. And like, I think there was like one where it's like, hey, it looks like a crack here, you know, kind of like this, but I'm pretty sure it's not like a crack or something. I don't know what this is, you know, like, is it a crack or is it not? Because like I see it sometimes in my face. And I'm pretty sure the doctors would like say something about it. I don't know. It's a distant memory that I can't remember now. There's like something here. You see that? There's this hole, but that I assume is for the eyeball. Looking real jaw maxing here. I think this looks pretty good. It's too big. Okay. How are you guys going with it? Are you guys learning something new? Hopefully. This should look like a Y, so make it like this. Go down here. Little nub there, and whoop. This could be a little bit more thinner. Erase that. There's a bone here. I'm a visual kind of person when it comes to learning. Probably why I can't remember those bone names. How's that? Is that good? One kind of connects here, and the jaw is like a separate being. Just like this could be thinner. There we go. Okay. Sometimes as an artist, you also need to zoom out a lot. You know, picture drawings in a different way. Because sometimes if you look at things or you focus on things too much in like one spot, you lose the bigger picture. You see? Like my skull right here, oops, is way too thick. And the bottom over here is way too small, too little. What are you gonna do about it? Cry? No. Can enlarge it like this, but that'll bring down that. Okay, yeah, sure. Shadows. Go here. Shadows. I've also been doing a lot more kind of hatching style shadows. But for here, I think we just do something simple. Because they take a lot of time. There we go. How are we looking, gang? Decent. I think this is a little too high. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Decent, you know? Let's see. What's next? What's that? Ooh, this. Okay. Let's try this. Try doing it here. Okay, let's see. Let's see what we're working with. Okay. So this the brain part. Eye socket. Cheekbone. Go straight to the cheekbone and so cool. And the little thing. Okay. I don't think I'm gonna draw the neck. Okay. Okay. Let's try drawing it. Let's put these over here real quick. Okay. So if this was like a person, right? There's the cheekbone. You wouldn't be able to see. You wouldn't even be able to see the mouth because it's covered in the cheek, right? Supposedly. Yeah. I mean, if you're like chubby, you wouldn't be able to see the cheek. Whoopsie. Okay. There's a bit more front view, honestly. Not front view, I mean. It's more steady. Go straight to the... This is difficult. This is difficult. Kind of does this kind of motion. A bit more a little wider this side. Like that. Okay, cool. This is difficult. This is actually difficult. The other one would look like this, probably. The other side, I mean. 難しいです。はい。こう Something like this, yeah. And the neck would be somewhere over there, yeah. Yeah, something like that. Like, it's not hard because like if you just like trace it like this, it's not hard. You can like pinpoint the places, but like, oh, the pixels. It's just hard because the perspective, which means that even if it looks simple to draw, it's actually not. And references is always the key. Oh, actually, I saw a tweet yesterday. Where it's like, I think it's like the Tekken devs. Tekken the game. Uh, they were like trying to find like the references, right? And it's like references of like real bodybuilders. And it's like, I was like, see, this is why pros use like references and stuff like that, because like it's such a common misconception that, hey, references are cheating, you know? Like, it's not. Calm down, you guys. I don't think we'll be exploring teeth, by the way. Like, teeth is there, you know? It's there. Anyways, I don't wanna take too much time on this either. Yeah, so let's try to quickly yeah, sure. Let's put you over here. Let's try to do this a little bit more quicker now. Cranium. Trying to define the shapes a lot faster too. Aw, it looks kind of sad. This one. Nose! The nasal is here. And connects here, to here, to here, to here. No. Point. There. There. Do that. Okay. There's also this principle in design. It's, oh, what's it called? Gestalt? I think it's a part of a Gestalt theory where it's a design theory where if you draw a few simple lines, it already like conveys a meaning. It's something like that. It's really hard for me to like explain it to you. Because I don't know how to explain it. But basically, if you like draw a design, right? Let's say that. Like, what do you see from this? What do you see from this, right? Let's say you see like a person, just so it doesn't make it harder. That also applies to principal art. You see this? You see this? Just by me, whoops, just by me tracing the skeleton. It's not fully complete, but you can already see like the shape, you know? And that's what matters in art. That's why shapes are so important in art. And not just like the curves and all. Like, you can already convey that this is a skull. Of course, like I drew it from here. Of course, I trace it, right? But like, it's already enough to convey that this is a skull, you know? Without the teeth and everything. It's a skull. It's there. Try to remove a few of these. Ooh, let's make it like this, actually. There. Removing little bits of pieces from it, ever so slightly, but it still conveys like it's a skull, you know? Insane. Anyways. Oh, that's my Guts, is that you? Thank you for the nice sketch. That's my other account. Okay, so update. Guts, my moderator, his account, his YouTube account got banned like twice. It's like 3 times now for no reason. And so he's kind of using my account, my other side account. Hi Guts, welcome to the stream. Which is also insane that like YouTube can just do that shit, you know? Like ban people's account for no reason. For real, for real. Get a little closer. Just a tiny bit. Okay. Cranium. You're starting to kind of see the pattern, right? With like the skull. Like, whoop, what happened? You gotta do this because this eye socket is a little bit of a thingy over here. I love drawing like this though, where it's just lines over lines, you know? YouTube used robots and the robots doesn't like me. Oh, Guts, I'm so sorry, buddy. Yeah, anyone new that's like coming in, feel free to join. If you want to use my reference, go ahead. Or if you want to search up on like Pinterest, go ahead. We'll get to more heads later. Right now I'm just focusing on this one. You're starting to notice a little bit more about the mistakes that you do. Like this, it could be more high up. Like that. Oops, that's not what I want. This is way too far out. Looks sad. Anatomy or something really like that is useful study as doctor. Yeah, yeah, right. That's why it feels very medical for me to draw these. But yeah. Okay, just need the teeth left. There, sure. Okay, cool. Okay. Here we go. You, come here. How's my day? I'm okay. Oh yeah, I just beat. I just got to beat. What's it called? Cult of the Lamb. I beat Cult of the Lamb yesterday. Kind of. Not really. So that's cool. There's a cheekbone that he mentioned. There's a bit of a curve here. The little thingy that connects to the jaw. This connects here, the temple. And the rest is the head. You're starting to get really comfortable with it. Why do I keep saying you? I'm talking about me. I'm starting to get real comfortable with it. Okay. Well, let's try drawing this on our own. The human skull, like, compared to this, the front side is a lot more narrow, whereas the side profile is a lot more thick. How are your day going? How's y'all's day going? Y'all's doing good? Wait, that's not right. Okay. Okay, I'm drawing without thing again. Not drawing with the proportions right. Straight line. Where's this? Almost like that, right? Tired? Aw, buddy. Pat pat. Take it easy. Starting to be really perfectionist about it. Okay, let's see this, right? This from the circle is right here. The eye, the middle of the eye. This split. Also, I love how you draw the front pove because sometimes people's skull and jaw do be a little like that when it's it remains. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. Compare the first this is our first one, right? This is the first skull we drew. Compare this to like this. Or like this. The structure is a lot more clear. But still can't draw the side profile, of course. Okay, start over. Sometimes when you feel stuck in an art, it's okay to start over. Even though like you've done a lot of progress in it, but you feel stuck. Sometimes it's better to just start over. That's how I feel most of the time, honestly. And take a step first. Huh. Stay hydrated, folks. There we go. It's a little far. Decent. At least I got the structures right, I think. A little bony here. Yeah. Alright. Let me move this a little closer. Last one. Nah. The ah. This is gonna be a bit more trickier. Also, next idea stream. Find Bob Ross tutorials. Ooh, yeah, maybe. But like Bob Ross is a lot more like landscape art. I think that's gonna be like very far because right now we're starting off with like human anatomy. I'm not sure when I'm going to do like a Bob Ross thing. Like, at like I said before, also, probably some newcomers didn't watch that, but I think when it comes to like coloring tutorials, that's gonna come a lot later because coloring is like really hard and it's probably deserving of its own episode. So yeah, right now we're starting off with very little simple steps, something that we're more familiar with. I say more familiar with because I know like a bunch of like anime artists always like start with humans, you know? Like yeah, me. Okay, let's see. Aha! Ah, hello everyone. Ah, he's excited to be here. This one doesn't have teeth, so let's draw the gums. Okay. Oh, that's good. Oh, I forgot to draw the nose. Wait, hold on. There you go. Yaha! Oh, this is good. Alright, last one. Last skull. After this, I'm gonna try drawing like a bunch of other skulls, like up here. And then we'll jump next to the next lesson. You're starting to be more faster. Again, why am I saying you? I'm starting to get more faster. Ta-da! Look at that! Our skulls! We did it! We did it. Let's try to... Let's merge these. Merge. There we go. Cool! Let me put this up. So let's try drawing it without reference, okay? So front view would be, oops. Front view would be something like this. And it's similar to drawing an ear for some reason. Spread this a little too wide open. Here we go. Be a bit more like this. Something like that. Oh, I see the problem. There we go. Decent, decent, decent. Feels a little off, but decent. This. Eyes. I think it's in the eyes. I might still need more reference. But hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. We definitely need more reference, but hey, that's a great warm-up session. Alright. Next. Let's see. Oh, wing canvas. Okay, this is 9 minutes, so I think this should be quick.
Planning to take an English proficiency?
No. Okay, there's this, I wonder if I can... Wait, there goes me. Okay. Yeah, okay.
Scientific today, we're going to be going over the different parts of the skull, where stuff aligns, and how that looks underneath the face, that sort of thing. So skulls. Skulls can be broken down into multiple anatomical parts. So a lot of people are like, oh, it's a skull. The skull is like the umbrella term, right? It's kind of like going like, oh, there's the body, but there's different parts of the body. There's your arms, there's your legs, that kind of thing, right? Skulls can be broken down as well. There are different parts of skulls that can be broken down into multiple anatomical parts, and understanding their structure allows for a better drawn face. So understanding where bone goes on the face, understanding where the tougher parts of the face are, will allow you to draw everything else because you know what's going on underneath it. How quickly can I draw a skull? The skull, the cranium, the back circle here is not a circle. It's an elongated oval. So we're going to start with the lateral
We
view
learned that.
right now. The lateral on the left of the face. To be clear, we are talking about skulls, not specifically like teeth or specific things like that. We are very heavily focusing on the skull itself. This actually should be larger. So this is where the ear canal would start right here. So if you feel your ear, it's like squishy, right? And that's because the ear is not made of bone, it's made of cartilage. So it actually...
Yeah, see? I did say this before, but like, when compared to like Cynic's way of drawing, he's very detailed and he breaks down a lot of the actual like terminologies and stuff like that. But I feel like he's very loose with it, you know? With this, I'm not comparing. Like, of course, he's very great in his own way. This also kind of explains the ear canal, which we didn't hear that before.
This is why I am not a scientific artist, because I'm choosing to ignore a lot of things. This should be higher. Okay, I did it from a profile view first. The profile view or the lateral view. Artist's term, it's a profile view. Scientific term, it's the lateral. We are going to be focusing on landmarks first. And your landmarks are very, very important when it comes to drawing skulls, because then by this point, now you'll be able to understand what is underneath the skin, so that what's on top of the skin becomes easier to draw. It's better to understand what's going on underneath, like your skin and your flesh and whatever, because your bones are your hardest landmarks, right? And it is much, much easier to work with it this way. So, notice the shape of the skull. Notice where the mandible starts. The mandible begins directly halfway through the head. So if you're ever drawing your jaw, if you draw that first circle, bring the face down, your jaw will start halfway through that circle, because our jaw is built like this, or the mandible is directly located in the center of the cranium right here. So you can think of it that way. And notice that the cranium is a big long oval. The mandible stops about halfway through here. So if you draw your head and your chin ends all the way back here, and you're only giving yourself that much left room, not that much room left for the rest of your face, then you've drawn your head too small. Never forget the cranium. Our cranium is huge just because it fits our brain. We need to make sure that our brain fits inside of here, and our brain doesn't like reach all the way to the edges here. Our brain is more like that, right? It's floating in there. So remember, halfway through, mandible starts there. Right here is the opening for the ear canal. Your ear would go right here. So your ear is directly attached to the mandible. So not only is your mandible halfway through your cranium, your ear is as well. If you draw it so you have a person from the side here and your ear is all the way back here, or like if you draw in your chin and it's like this and your ear's kind of like that, or if it's like right here or whatever, right? It shouldn't be. If you have your face, again, halfway through the cranium, your ear will start right here. So it will also be aligned with this center line of the side of the face. Landmarks that I have talked about so far is that the mandible is halfway through the cranium and that the ear canal aligns with the end of the mandible. So this is the ear canal right here. It is a hole. Notice as well, the jawline is on
I
a
love this
slant.
artist so
the
much.
mandible is slanted.
She's really good.
When we draw in our lips, remember that we shouldn't have everything on this side be completely flat. We want to bring that out because the teeth protrude from the head, and that will also help make the lips protrude from the head as well. Only the mandible moves on a hinge joint. So right here, it's a hinge, right? So it's kind of like there's a thing here. Oh, actually, I can just show you. There's a hinge joint right there, and it only moves from that specific spot. So if you're drawing somebody's opening their mouth, it will only open from that specific point. That hinge moves it up and down. The top of the head will not move the same way the mandible will move. But notice as well that the angle of the mandible goes
It's also really good for
It will
animation.
open up much wider, so you need that squash and stretch within your face to make sure that it looks proper. Let's do some labeling right now. Yes, that's the thing that I should have done first. So this one right down here, we've already been talking about it. This is the mandible or the jaw. Right here is the, technically, okay, so the real term is the external acoustic meatus. I'm gonna call it the ear canal. Back here, it's kind of divided like here-ish. You can call this bone the parietal bone, and this takes up the majority of the back half of the face. The one right here, this entire forehead bit, this is the frontal bone. Right here, this little piece, this is the nasal bone. And this right here, this little piece, this is the zygomatic. So these are the—
Also, side tangent. I remember why it's called the frontal bone or a frontal lobe because of fucking FNAF. Back then, you know, before like I learned biology, before I learned like the human skull. Well, technically that's after, but I never actually learned anything from that class, so so I actually remember the frontal lobe, this part, because of FNAF, because you know, the bite of 87 happened because it happened when the Freddy Fazbear bit the kid's frontal lobe, and that's how I learned about the frontal lobe. Crazy
the
how
important
media
ones. You don't
helps
really
us,
need
huh?
to know much else for now. I'm gonna draw the frontal view so then we can get more landmarks.
Also, yeah, I do recommend Wing
Okay,
Canvas a lot.
Let's label these bones again.
They're very
This
good for
one right here
learning.
is the nasal bone. This one, this is the zygomatic. The nasal, the zygomatic, also known as the cheekbones, yes. This one down here, this is the mandible. This one right here. It goes all the way back to the head, so it doesn't actually stop right here. So
I
that's why
see.
we have the lateral view as well. So you can see that.
That's a way to
This is the
remember.
frontal. This one is the maxilla. So these are the important parts, the important bones that you're gonna need if you want to think about anatomy in this way. The zygomatic bones, very, very important. What you can do for me, touch your cheeks, now go upwards, underneath your eyes. If you feel that hard bone kind of right underneath your eyes, that is your zygomatic bone right there. This is your cheekbone. This is a protruding plane
Wait,
of
where?
the face and is important for lighting. Is it so sharp it feels more rounded? That's because of the layers of fat and skin that we have on top. Underneath it, this little section right here, empty portion between, I'm just gonna call it the zygo, and mandible is the cheek. So this
I
section
think
right
that's like
here,
the
that's where
temple.
your cheeks are, because there's no bone between your mandible and your zygomatic. However, teeth get in the way. Sink in this area for a more emaciated look. So if you want somebody to look like they haven't eaten in a while, if you want somebody to look weirdly thin or sickly, sinking in the cheek between the zygomatic and the mandible is a fun strategy that you can do. Frontal bone is 1/3 of the skull. Don't shrink it.
Oh,
Notice right
actually,
here, the
that
frontal
reminds
bone
me.
is 1,
That does remind me. I had this character that I did for a character designing class. He was like super thin. I wonder if I did that like subconsciously. Wait, sorry, side tangents. I want to see if I actually did this right back then. That was like a year ago, last year. Let's see. It's in this folder. No, not that one. This one. Kind of, yeah. I think I did a decent job at it. I'll show you later. I'll show you guys later. I had these character design.
2, 3. It is 1/3 of the entire skull. If
Sorry,
you
what?
have 1/3 of the skull. Don't shrink it. Notice right here, the frontal bone is 1, 2, 3. It is 1/3 of the entire skull. If you have like your eyes all the way up here and there's just like this tiny little bit of forehead left, you haven't left yourself enough room. Your forehead's a lot bigger than you think. So the frontal bone is 1/3 of the skull, so don't shrink it. Don't shrink your forehead. Frontal bone protrudes, so it's like a hood over the eyes. So the frontal bone right here, your brow bone is what they call it, but it is technically just a piece of the frontal bone. It does protrude, it comes out like this, so it creates a hood over your eye socket.
Fun fact.
That is
Hold on. Excuse me, ma'am. let me just. Fun fact. Anyways, yeah, fun fact. Let me just put it here. The eyebrow bone thing, the frontal bone. So there's this thing, and I've seen this in like TikTok and from like one person, so I don't know if it's like anatomically, medically correct, but Native Americans, or yeah, I think it was like Native Americans, they have like these hooded, big, really thick hooded eyes, right? Their frontal bones are actually made bigger due to the like, it's like okay, how do I explain this? God, I'm so bad at explaining. Okay, Native Americans have thicker and broader frontal bone or eyebrow bone to protect the eyes. It's an actual thing. I think it's like an evolution thing, where specifically most of them at least have thicker frontal bones. And not only that, on East Asians, a lot of East Asians, they have like slanted eyes, like very thin slanted eyes, because it shields them from the UV radiation. So, you know, there's like this thing. Hold on. I think glasses. I think this is what this is. Yeah, this. You see this? It makes a lot more sense. You see? Because the more narrow the eye is, the less UV goes into your eye, so it protects your eye, right? That's why a lot of East Asians, like more Northern Asians, have slanted eyes, because it kind of protects them from the UV light. So yeah, that's a piece of trivia that I've learned recently. Hopefully I'm right. But yeah. See that? That's so crazy. It's crazy how amazing human anatomy evolves.
Piece of the frontal bone. It does. That is what we want to think about when we are looking at
Anyways.
skulls, different parts of them, the landmarks. So when we have the skull with its little mouth open, so I demoed it earlier. When the mouth opens up, it is on a hinge. The mandible, if it opens up, then it'll open up like this. So if we have our mandible open, if we were to draw somebody over that, so let's say we've just got a person, this comes down here, the nose is like this. The nose is also made of cartilage, so it is not a bone. There is a nasal bone. The eyebrow would be right here, the ear would be right here.
If you'd like to support the channel and the creation of free arts education, become a member on Patreon.
So if we've got a person looking from the side like this, when the mandible moves, the bottom of the face will move and stretch as well. Again, take this mandible, put it on that hinge joint, and just open it up. The jaw goes back, and the mouth like stretches up, it opens. But our mandible will stretch open. This is what we call squash and stretch. So don't forget that the jaw
That's also an
extends
animation
when we open up
terminology.
our mouth, right? It doesn't say the same width. If this is the length when it is opened, it's a lot longer than when it's closed. So we want to make sure that we are opening that jaw nice and wide. So same deal here. If we've got like this person facing forwards, from the front, this is going to be a little bit trickier, because even though that the mandible is opening, it is opening and hinging backwards. So what you have to do is you have to approximate for that. So your lower jaw will open up so you can see the back points of the teeth. You can see your molars, right? It's a curve. Your mandible is curved, and that will be represented by how many of your teeth you can see. I'm not going to bother counting them, but it opens backwards like that. What this looks like as a face from the front. So if we've got the face looking forwards like this, we've got this guy here. When the mouth opens, the jaw will hinge open, chin will open up wider. So don't forget your teeth. Your teeth are very, very important.
Join a virtual class to learn live from our professional artists. Get creative.
Okay, yeah. That's a very brief explanation. Alright. Alright. Let's try drawing. Let's try finding another one. Oh god, who's that person's name? There's this one guy that I know. Not you, not you. You! Akihito Yoshitomi! That's my boy! He's my favorite artist right now. Whenever I feel like stuck with my art, I usually come back to his post and draw with him. Of course, these are very long. It's process videos, like time-lapse. So, let's see. Let's see this one. Okay. It's also ASMR, so if you guys are into that, he's a really good fit. So the way he draws it, right, it's really interesting. I'm probably gonna use a lot of his videos for reference too, because I just think that his like art style is really, it's really nice. Yeah, see, he does this like triangle thing, which I've also tried before, but it's a little hard to kind of pinpoint, so I kind of stopped using that. I especially love how he draws like bodies. We're gonna get to that a little later though. Yeah, see? Oh, this is how he draws his body. Hold on. I'm just gonna give you guys a quick glimpse of how he does it. It makes it so easy once you like understand the forms of like human anatomy. It makes it so easier to draw. Like drawing is hard, and even when you understand anatomy, it's still hard. But like, God, seeing the pros just draw so effortlessly, it's like, damn. You wish you can be that skillful. Okay. Enough of that. I want to... Let's look at more Pinterest references. Oops. No, stop. So, I'm trying to prove a point here. So, you know how a lot of artists would say like, oh, when you're drawing the head, you should draw a circle first. You probably see here, like, see, right? Oh, circle first. Draw the circle first. Draw the circle first, lines, guides, and stuff like that. And yeah, it works. It works. But there's also other ways. Like, look at this. I saw this tutorial a while back, and I tried to incorporate it, and it did work for me, though. So, using a lot of, like, squares and all. This is what I did in my first one, too. In my first drawing as well. But there's also other ways. So there's this. There's also this. Which I tried to replicate, but I don't really understand it all that much. But yeah, there's like this thing, which is, if you saw from the skull anatomy practice we did, there's a little hood that's following the skull. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. Oh, I see this person's tutorial a lot. Yeah, makes sense, I guess. my tip is whenever you want to like improve, even though you have like a cartoony art style or anime art style, it's best if you understand realism first. That's my tip, right? Because I also grew up starting with like the anime art style or the cartoon art style. I started off with that, and you know what? I still draw that way. But understanding the actual form of a human head or human anatomy is so beneficial because then you understand where head placements are. So your art doesn't look wonky. Yeah, you still have your art style. You can still have your art style, but imagine how better it would be if you understand the proportions. Oh, I tried using this guide too a while back. And whenever you start off with learning proper anatomy, you don't go with this. Like, no offense to this person, this is really great tutorial, but you don't start off with this. Like, yeah, you get there, but like, you still don't understand the actual form of that skull. See? Because all you know is to draw the base, the circle, line. There's not really much of an explanation either. What is this line for? It's for the middle of the head, but there was this one person on TikTok that I saw a couple ways back where they thought that this line was supposed to be for the eye, so like the middle of the eye would be over here. But no, this is actually the eyebrow line. So the eyebrow should be over here, and the eye line should be underneath it, slightly underneath it, and then the nose. Here, let me show you. Let's see. Let's see. This is the common misconception, right? Where the eyeline is supposed to be up here, but it makes it kind of look really stretched, right? It looks really stretched. Most of the time, it's like that. It's not everyone art style is like that. Not everyone makes it look like, oh, the head looks really too stretched or something like that, right? It's not always like that, but most of the cases, it's like that. And I know most of you are like that too, because I was like that too. Okay, let's say this, right? See, look here. This is the circle, right? This is the circle. This is the half of the face. This is the eyebrow. Below it is the eye. So that's why that's like the common misconception, especially when people are trying to learn anime art style, because even anime artists, they learn realism first most of the time. This, look, circle, right? But halfway is the eyebrow. So yeah, learning realism first, it will help you for the long run. It sucks, it's tiring, and even now I still have to learn it over and over again, but it'll head off. Trust me. Okay, that being said, let's try to incorporate it to our art style. It is also getting dark. I am blinded. Okay. I hope my explanation is useful for you guys, because I know I'm not the best at explanation. Okay. Okay. Here we go. This is our first try, right? Let's try and compare it with some skulls we've done. Oh, it fits right nicely. Okay. So, yeah. Let me try fitting it to one of the skulls. Okay. We got the mouth correct. The eyes and eyebrow is a little short. Yeah. I think the nose is correct because the nose can go way further down than, you know, just this. Okay. Let's try comparing it now. So this is our first try. Second try. Yeah, good old circle, our good pal circle. So I'm gonna try using my own art style. Nose would be over here. It's a little big. The temple should be closer to the so this is probably around this big. This would be the hairline. I always know that the ears should be starting from here. Almost half of the eyes goes up here and goes here to where the nose is. We'll try to see that a little later too, once we start using real life, real person references. So yeah. Something like this. The neck. This tutorial is probably also like a bit out of it'll all over the place. But hey, that's why we're learning together. Hopefully in the future we can kind of start this off with a little bit more tidiness to it. Another thing with the eyes is that they're always one eye apart. So this would be one eye apart. A nice way to remember where the ears is supposed to be is remembering how they would look like when they're wearing glasses. So if he was like wearing glasses, the ears where the glass or the glasses handles should be around here, right? So the glasses should be over here. This is a weird hairstyle. Hey, look at that! Cute! Okay, nice. Cute! He kind of looks like my cousin. Okay, let's put it like that. Put this up and merge it. There we go. Let's try doing a side profile. Okay. Let's try doing a side profile. Also, this looks like... Oh my god, I just realized this looks like a... animatronic skeleton. You know? In FNAF. Haha. There it is. It's an oval. Eyebrow. Almost half. Hold on. I forgot. Okay. Okay. It's a bit of a loop here. It's a very devious fucking chin. Will I start drawing skulls before drawing heads? Maybe. drawing people with bangs. I don't know why. I think it's because I have bangs for like the longest time. That's kind of looking decent. Oh, decent, but I feel like it could be a little bit more. Oops. Nope. I feel like it could be a little bit more protruding. Nope. Not like that. Here we go. I feel like it could do like that a little bit, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Cool. That's our second try. Let me just align this a little bit more. Ooh, okay. Okay. Cool. Next, what do we do next? What do we do next? What should we do next? Let's see. Eyes? Maybe we can do eyes. Eye study? I'll say it's PNG tubing is a lot more better than the VTubing that I did previously. Maybe I will do this a lot more. Alright, we can do the real people references, but hold on. Let's try eyes first. Hold on. Facial features. Let's do facial features. And pick some references. Let's try doing more diverse references. By diverse, I mean, hold on. Ooh, this one's good. Actually, let's just use this one. Forget the other two. Okay. We got a whole wall of eyes. Let's draw them. So, with eyes, I remember doing this back in like junior high. We were studying anatomy. Oh, I thought that was a hair on my screen. I thought that was a hair on the screen. Hold on. Okay. So with eyes, they're round, right? Eyes are round. Eyes are round. and they fit in our eye sockets. I actually kind of forgot what he taught me that day. Anyways, eyes are round, and usually it's point A to point B, and you just get your line like that, right? Usually it's like that, point A to point B. Sometimes there's folds because the eyes are round, so the folds would be over here. So, back then, or I'm starting to remember now, when you draw eyes, usually the perfect eye is usually this is point A, point B. It's usually like this. God, talking about that teacher, he was a picky one. Didn't really like him all that much, not gonna lie. Usually, the perfect eye is like this, and whoever has this eye is usually Asians. So us Indonesians, we have this kind of eye where it's like point A to point B. By Asians, I also mean Southeast Asians. So, see? Point A to point B. There's slanted eyes. There's also downwards kind of eyes. I forgot what it's called, but like, yeah. It's that. Usually, eyes are like this. Maybe not like this, because... let me restart. Circle. Circle. Point A to point B. We start here. Say they're looking this way. Now sometimes they would have folds. Folds like these. And eye folds. Like that. You see? With eyes, I'm a lot more expressive with them usually. I think I've done a pretty good job with it. That's how I usually do my eye styles. Just so ugly. But usually when I do eyes, this is my first try. Usually I would go like this. Sometimes like this, because sometimes there's the hood right over here, right? Do this. I like more round eyes. You know how like in anime they usually do it like this to make it look really big? But personally I like art styles where their eyes are just rounded. It's really cute. It's a lot cuter that way. Anyways, I fold and sometimes eye sockets here, depending on the character. Yeah, that's how I do eyes. If slanted, they would just make it like this. A little bit more downwards on this side. Or I guess monolid is also the term, right? For these kind of eye styles. Is it monolid or... Oh, I don't know actually. Yeah. Then there's this type of eyes where it's a little bit more drowsy. Those are my first tries. Oh my god. Kids these days, they would call it like positive or negative can't tell. Like, what the hell are you? You're just making yourself more insecure. Y'all gotta stop. Just like, just do your own thing, man. Just be yourself. Let me make it bigger. Whoops! There we go. Let me erase this. Oops, did I do something? Oh. Okay. I feel like personally, I don't really need this kind of tutorial, but I'm gonna do it for you guys. Eyes are pretty straightforward most of the time. Let's try, hold on. Let me actually do this. There we go. That's a lot easier to do. Here, this is ugly, not gonna lie. I'm just gonna erase it. It's really bothering me. Okay. Let's try drawing them. Now it's right here. I guess we can also do eyebrows then. I'm also very loose with my eyebrows. I'm trying to be a lot more looser with my eyebrows, because I find them really satisfying to look at. Okay. So for eyes, they have this kind of loop here. To kind of differentiate where the eyebrows would be. These are really interesting eyes. They're a lot more rounder. They have this. It's so cool. Oops, forgot to draw the eyelid. I mean eyeball. I mean pupil. There's so much character in this one. Quick stretch. Quick break. Man, how we've only been drawing for 2 hours. I think it's because I'm commentating, so it's taking a lot of more energy and time. But anyways, what should I eat for dinner? I've already had noodles. I wanted noodles this morning, and there were noodles, but it's not the kind of noodles that I want. But it's still noodles nonetheless, so I ate it, and now I haven't ate rice. Oh no, my drawing glove is dirty. What is that? Ew. It's dust, but ew. Also, I still want to, of course, continue Spirit Fair, but I was thinking that, you know what, maybe a little gap between the two, because I know some people, a lot of people mostly, subscribe to me because I draw my drawings and the animation that I did. So it doesn't feel fair if I just start streaming gaming all the time. So yeah. Hopefully next time our relearning streams could be a lot more organized and not just me forgetting how to use English. Oh. Oh yeah, I've been playing Overwatch a lot lately. I was also thinking maybe we could like stream that sometime. I don't know though. I spent a lot of bots in Overwatch right now. The eyes are looking at us. Anyways, let's continue. So with this, his eyes are a little bit more kind of like a bird. It is the beak. Big bushy eyebrows too. With this, the eyebrow is a lot more droopier down. Like this, it still has like a space between them. But with this, it's far closer to the eyelids. Oh yeah, eyelashes. I suck at drawing eyelashes. Like, it looks straightforward, right? You just gotta do this a bunch of times, most of the time. But for some reason, it doesn't look natural enough sometimes. I don't know why. Okay. But yeah. skulls before head is a good practice. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay, I think eyes are a bit more straightforward. I'm gonna try doing more diverse eyes. And then we can move on to other things. With eyes also, I feel like people can kind of you kind of manipulate it a lot because it's like the main thing to show expression, right? It's one of the main features to show human expression. So a lot of people would like exaggerate it a lot, especially in cartoons and of course anime. So I feel like the eyes is a lot more flexible to work on. Just as long as you know the basics of what an eye has, like, you know, eyelid and pupil, lower eyelid, eyelid folds and stuff like that. Because you can't always have like the when you're character designing or just drawing, you can't always have a person's eye to be just the same boring. Oh, look at you. Each eye is, you know, point A to point B, right? You can't always have that. There's always diversity. Like if you see here, this man's old, and it shows from his eyes and how tiring life can be. So you have to draw the folds. You can't be scared to draw folds and skin. I see that a lot in like a lot of like artists, especially anime artists, because most of the time they spend drawing younger people. But when it comes to drawing more fluently, you have to be able to recognize folds, skin folds, and wrinkles and stuff like that. You can't always draw a young face. Most of the time it gets boring. Like fucking look at Genshin Impact. Look at Genshin Impact. Like, oh, a good what's Chonto example. A good example to this is Honkai, right? Welt. I'm here to talk about Welt. Welt, like canonically from the actual creators, apparently Welt's white hair is dyed. I don't know why he dyes it, but he looks like an old man, right? He wears a stick. He has some sort of wrinkles. He's supposed to be an old man, but people are just too scared to draw older people because the fantasies that younger people like younger people, you know? Like draw folds, draw wrinkles. Like you don't have to look young all the time to be likable, you know? Like there's Grunkle Stan, there's who else? Who else? Sigma from Overwatch. I fucking love that motherfucker. He looks good. And he's an old man. You know? Like, especially in anime, you have to be able you can't always draw the same thing over and over again. Sure, if it's your comfort, go ahead. But like if you want to further improve, you have to be able to draw other things. Because guess what? In the industry, you're forced to draw different things every time. So yeah. Okay. Let's try this eye style. This is gonna be the last eye style. This one. Let's try to draw this eye style. Let me just sorry everyone, y'all didn't make it to the list. Unfortunate. Whoops, there we go. We'll draw you guys next time. I'm bored. Oops. There we go. Okay. Whatever. Oh yeah, the thing also with like drawing the other eye. I think it's fine if you want to copy paste, like it's there for a reason, you know? The feature is there for a reason, why not use it? You know? This looks flat because it doesn't have eyebrows, but I'm so bad at drawing eyebrows. I mean eyelash. I know it's not supposed to be like this, but shortcuts. I can do like the jelly art style kind of. Ah, like if I do this like individually, you just gotta do it like a lot of times until eventually it looks right. That's how I do it. There you go. That looks right, right? Yeah, okay. Alright. So yeah, I don't think there's gonna be much of a difference between my first try and my current try because... Yeah. There's not much difference. Probably the only difference is the eyelashes, but you know how it is. You know how it goes. Okay, next, I think noses would be good. I need a good different sizes of nose. Let's do side and hold on. Oh, do I know this book? Wait, do I have this book? Hold on. Is this you? Is this from you? I just remember I have a whole book about drawing anatomy. The only thing is it's Chinese. Oh my god, did I find it on the internet? Someone like copy pasted. Hiroshi Misawa, Tsubura Kuromaru. It's in Chinese though. I think this is like the Chinese translation. Cool. I always forget that I have this book. It's like a book full of like anatomy studies. Like anatomy tutorials. For realism. Oh, here's the nose part. It might be different. Yeah, it's different. Okay. Put you there first. Okay. I kind of just want to go straight to drawing real life references though. What do you guys think? I kind of like jumping around though, through like different. Oh my god, Pinterest. I know who to draw. I've drawn him before once as a study. Oh, that's such a good reference. Huh. Let's see. Why don't I just go to Instagram? His Instagram. Oh, I can't copy the picture. Oh, okay, never mind. Just go back to Pinterest. It's a good reference. Let's see. God, he looks so slim. Oh, I think I drew that one before. God damn, he got cake. God. Seeing all his like old pictures makes it okay. He's changed a lot. He went from a okay. That's smut. Oh my god. Oh, I'm cringing kinda hard. Oh, here's the picture. Same picture. Alright. Bam. We drawing Jacksepticea. I think we should. Yeah, let's try in the different. Okay. We're doing Jacksepticea. So, let's try to let's try to understand his anatomy first, right? Let's try, you know, let's draw in green. Good old green. So, cranium. Cranium here. His nose is a bit more rounder. His ear is somewhere over here. Okay. Yeah. His eyes. A to B. Kinda simple. Alright. I've drawn him before. Multiple times. So, hopefully I get this one right. Mm. Okay, it stops here. You can kind of see the cheekbone, huh? See here? Wouldn't it be crazy if, like, he's just suddenly appears in the stream? Like Jack. Crazy. Insane. Definitely wouldn't happen. That's a fucking sick ass mustache beard. I also love drawing hair. If you can't tell. This could be a bit more rounder, I think. What the jack? What the jack? Yeah, something like that. Shine. I have the European beard, not gonna lie. Yeah, Viking beard. I don't know if Irish people are part of like the Viking. I know Swedish people are kind of like part of the Viking thing. Beard are also fun to draw because how chaotic they are. God, we're growing old, aren't we? To think that I used to watch him since like 6th grade. That's insane. I'm 21 next week actually. This year. But don't they feel old? Oh, my hand is cramping up a little. It'd be a bit more wilder. His eyes look slanted. There we go. That's a little better. Beards are such a weird concept. Like, I don't. Okay, I'm not a guy, but like, what does a beard do, other than showcasing masculinity? I guess. Well, like, what does it actually do? For real talk here. There's something off. Yeah. Yeah, there's something off. I sense it. I might have dinner in a bit too, actually. Cool. Okay, something's off. You see? Something feels off, right? The eye. The eye is too far apart. I'm starting to get dizzy too. Hydrated. Ugh. Okay. I don't know. Oh god, my head is starting to really get dizzy. Okay. Alright, I think we did okay. Oh god, my head. Okay. I think we did okay for today. I'm sorry it could have been like much longer, I think. Let me put these two together. Maybe we can do a part 2 of this. How about that? I wasn't even saving since the start of the stream. Holy shit. Okay, so what did we learn today? We learned that about skulls. Really cool. Cool stuff. We learned about eyes. We learned about positioning and stuff like that. And finally, we drew Jacksepticeye. His proportion is so hard though. Yeah, that's why. I think we can do like a second, a part 2 of this. But for now, I think I have to end it there because it's getting a little late. I need my dinner. My head hurts. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope that this has been useful, and if not, I'm sorry. There's gonna be more soon. But yeah, I'll end it here. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day, great night, or a great afternoon, great whatever timeline you're living in right now, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.